On today's episode, follow me as I harvest my biggest buck to date in the snow. I hope you guys enjoy. So the motivation on this hunt was we were coming off of a rebound of a cold front, kind of not necessarily getting in before a cold front, but actually sneaking in after the cold front. We really thought, we figured the deer would be up and moving, but actually it was still a little nastier than I thought. Figured this would probably be a 10, 11 o'clock kind of hunt, but obviously I wanted to be in the stand just in case. So even though the morning started off slow, that doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't movement. There was still pretty early movement, but it was just two yearlings. A couple of yearlings had came out off up to my right, out of the corner of the field. I thought it was a little suspect that the way they were acting, but at that same point we were kind of in that mix of when the rut was going on, so it's not like it was entirely out of the question to see two yearlings just off by themselves that had been ran off by some buck. So I just kept an eye on them, kind of read their body language, see if I couldn't study them a little bit, and just kind of admired them as they walked across this field. So I kind of got used to these yearlings being there with me at that point. I mean, we were probably a solid 45 minutes in of them just hanging out. And like I said, they just seemed kind of lost. They seemed kind of out there. They didn't really know exactly what was going on. And like I said, I took note of that. I was studying them, seeing what they were doing. And then out of nowhere, I just see these two yearlings take off. I actually had the camera off at that time. And what they did, they were taking off to meet up with a more mature doe. And then right as that happened, I catch on film them feeding, actually. So my first initial thought is that's mom. Obviously there's a connection there. And then right after that, my brain switched to what's behind her. Something had pushed this doe up. After thinking about it, I think what had happened was that buck had that mother bedded down in the bottom, the ridge over, had her bedded down for the night and had ran those two fawns off, or yearlings off. And I think what was going on was he was pushing her up. She had got up. She was ready to start her day. And so I started glassing the woods looking for that set of horns, and I found them. So this guy takes his time getting out into the field. He's in really no rush at all. And not that I needed any extra time to verify that he was a shooter, but I knew he was a shooter and the buck fever was setting in. So you're probably thinking, just shoot him already. Well, it's not that easy to shoot a deer when you're shaking the leaves off the tree from buck fever.
Burp. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Right there, boy. Yes, sir. That's the Maniac smack. Putting it on him. Oh. Right there. That's one of our hit listers. Yes, sir. Oh, I still got deer on me. I got it. Right there, all that hard work just paid off. It's all these mornings that just sucked sitting in this freaking stand. My feet hurting, my face hurting, my toes, all of it worth it right there in those 10 seconds. Yes. Let's freaking go, Maniacs are back, baby. Smell them. Let's go! What a freaking brute! Look at this guy. Freaking Roman head. Look at this. Look what he's going to be. That's him. That is him. Let's go. Alright, now that we got him recovered here, originally when I called Shannon, I actually thought this was the winner's buck, which is a 10 that he had let go on opening day. But turns out it's actually the deer that we thought was going to be a 12 point. He really messed with us all season. Him and the winner's buck were interchangeable at that 3 and 4 spot on our hit list. But he messed with us because of this tine right here. We weren't ever sure if just the angle he was at on the trail cam, it was a far side tine, just kind of punching up, thinking maybe he was going to be a 12. But now we got our answer because we got him in our hands. And he's actually going to finish off as an 11. But if we would have given him one more year, you can see he probably would have came out and been a mainframe 12. But 4.5, 5.5-year-old deer, huge Roman head. His back's all tore up, his tarsal glands are disgusting, he smells horrible, and his neck is super swollen. So I'd say it's safe to say that the rut here in southwest Missouri is, officially starting, if it's not already in swing for everyone else. But blessed, went to bed last night. I said prayers, the old man said prayers. Big man delivered upstairs. All I had to do was put the Maniac smack on him, and that's all she wrote.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. To date, that is my best buck. I'm looking to top him this year, but overall, that hunt itself is going to be really hard to top. I got to learn a lot of things. I got to study body language of deer. Got put in a scenario that I had never been put in before, and that's something you can only ask for every hunt when you go out there. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and don't forget, you can find us on YouTube, obviously, Facebook, Instagram, and now Twitter at Midwest Maniac Outdoors. And until then, keep handing out them Maniac smacks.